Christine, you're muted.
Nope.
There.
Good morning, and thank you all for joining us today. I'm Christine Gasparek, Assistant Director of the Department of Building Inspection. This has been a difficult year for all of us on so many levels. At DBI, we had to limit our in-person permit processing in order to comply with COVID public health directives. Despite this challenge, we kept the lights on and permits moving, albeit at a slower pace than before COVID. We're always mindful that the work you do, designing, building, upgrading, and improving our city's buildings, is critical to San Francisco and to the lives of the people living and working here. It's also critical to the economic recovery and to getting everyone back to work. Now we're taking a giant step forward to getting back to normal. In-person permit review is much faster, more productive, and a better use of everybody's time. We are thrilled to be returning to in-person service, and as we go through this transition phase from you dropping off your plans to us restoring in-person review, we are asking you to be patient with us as we work through the outstanding permits while we ramp up to in-person drop-in service in the coming months. Today, we're going to walk you through our new process and what you need to know about what's changing. Our goal is to provide clear information and excellent customer service to help you comply with safety codes and get your permit issued as quickly as possible. So thank you for your patience over the last year, and thank you for your partnership in the days to come. I will now turn this over to John Murray, who will share some information about the meeting and how you can participate.
Good morning, everyone. John Murray, DBI Legislative Affairs. Patrick, can you advance the slide, please? Thank you. Just a quick overview of how this meeting will be run. We will give a 30-minute presentation. We're saving the last 30 minutes for question and answer, so please hold your questions for this portion of the program. Public comment call-in is 1-415-655-0001 with the access code 187-394-9352, or you can raise your hand for public comment, pressing the little hand icon in the corner, or press *3 when prompted by the meeting moderator. To give everyone a chance to be heard, we request that you ask one question when you're called on. Just keep it to one. Please keep the question brief and keep comments to 2 minutes or less, and hold questions about specific projects. Instead, please send these inquiries to dbicustomerservice@sfgov.org. Thank you very much.
And now Gus Barocas, the Permit Center Manager, will walk you through the process for in-person plan review at the Permit Center.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Hi, my name is Gus Barocas. I am the Permit Center Manager for the City and County in San Francisco Permit Center at 49 South Van Ness. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about, or a lot about, over-the-counter permits. So we'll talk about the different activities taking place in person here at the Permit Center. Also talk briefly on in-house review type permits, how to get those in, and also a little bit on the online permits that are available for you, so you don't necessarily have to come down to the Permit Center. But we're really going to spend a lot of time on the over-the-counter permits. And then we'll offer a chance for Q&A. Next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the Permit Center was put together for this mission, which is really to continue to keep San Francisco beautiful, safe, and a friendly place to be and to conduct business. And the goal for that, or how we're going to do that, is by really looking at and streamlining and making these permit process for over-the-counter, in-house, small business permits very streamlined for all residents and businesses in the city and county of San Francisco. So that's the main goal, is to help with that. Get all the departments together and get them, focusing on one direction to do this. Right now, our goal is really recover from the process that we put together in the past year for OTC permits. and safely return the over-counter experience towards a same-day drop-in service. We have challenges, which is nothing new. It's been ongoing all year, but one of that is, how do we do that while we're sort of governed by public health restrictions for COVID and the changes as they go through the different phases. And also, we started taking paper drop-ins in June, and we go through getting these paper plans from off our shelves and back to you so that you can go through an in-person type experience. So getting off the current drop-off system, which actually ended yesterday, happy to say. Next slide. So yeah, we go to the previous slide. Slide 4. Oh, sorry, slide 5, thank you. Yeah. So we're gonna do this in phases. And the first phase really is to get the plans back to the customer. And that's happening now. And we're doing that, and we focused on plans that are in the building. And while we get them back to you, we're also doing an in-person review, which can go all the way to permit issuance, and that's underway today. Also underway is customers that have new OTC with plan appointments for permit center, in the permit center, can come in and go through in-person routing on the second floor. Before, on Wednesday, it was drop off. We started yesterday for in-person, so no longer taking drop off for new over-the-counter with plan appointments. And then the also exciting part is that beginning on May 10th, applicants can return for in-person rechecks. So those of you that have been holding on to your plans after you pick them up from the permit center can come back on May 10th to for your resubmission, and which is now going to be a recheck, in-person recheck. I would like to stress though, patience again, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that want to come on May 10th. So if possible, I would recommend to push that out maybe later in the week, but May 10th, you can return for in-person rechecks. Thank you. Next slide. Once we get a hold of the number of plans that are currently in the permit center and get these back to customers, then we can move into the next phase, which is moving current OTC appointments that are scheduled in June, July, early, and get them in for OTC intake. And then the next phase after that would be to offer a same-day in-person service through sign up, which we're looking at doing that through a same-day sign up through QList. So that would be phase 2. Next slide. So what I'm gonna do now is kind of go over the current services that are offered in the permit center, sort of a refresher on some, and then the new stuff that's happening. So the first type of permit I like to talk about is the no plans permit applications. Those are happening from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. Again, for no plan permits, 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. It's drop-in only, first come, first serve. So we get here at 7:30 all the way up to 9:29. It's drop in, and you will get processed. Your permit will get processed. We'll route you through QList. We're using QList to route customers from the first floor to the second floor and through review for issuance. And then again, you will leave with your permit for no plans, same day issuance. It is limited to 2 projects per applicant. We do ask that if you please respect the 2 projects per applicant so that we can process as many permits as possible and get everyone on their way out the doors as soon as possible. Next slide. Fire only permit applications. These are fire only over-the-counter permit applications that only need fire review. That's happening 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Thursday. These are drop-off applications and plans on the first floor. So this is still drop-off, still paper, dropping off the application and plans with fire on the first floor. It is first come, first served. The fire department will take in those plans and application. They'll do review internally, and then they'll issue the permit to you at a later date. So again, you're dropping off the plans, they'll do a review, you'll receive an invoice through email to pay, and then you will receive an email from the permit center with a time to come pick up when it's ready for pickup. Next slide. So this is the good one here. These are plans that are currently on our site that are here for an initial review with a department and with DBI. So currently these are plans. This is available from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. This is invitation only. We are prioritizing plans that have been on site the longest, and we are inviting customers to come in at a specific window to pick up their plan and to do an initial review with building or mechanical. From there, when you're on site, then you're able to take it to the remaining departments in the routing, and you could potentially take it all the way to issuance so that you could get your job card same day. And the list, currently we're inviting customers that projects that have arrived to building on or before April 23rd. So if your project arrived in building on or before April 23rd, you should have received an invite, or go to this website that's listed to look on the list to see if you're eligible to come in. You'll also see your appointment time window to come in. If you've missed it, you're still able to come in, but it's important that you are on the list. And if you are on the list, you'll be allowed to come in, get routed upstairs to pick up your plan and have a review with someone from building or mechanical. So as I mentioned, building, we're looking at April 23rd. Mechanical, we're looking at April 21st. So again, what I recommend for everyone always is to go to DBI's website, use the permit tracking system, search your application number, and really follow the path of your plan as it moves through the departments. If you see that it arrived on building on April 23rd, on or before April 23rd, then you should have an invite. If you arrived after April 23rd, you will receive an invite as we go through these plans. So I also recommend you check this website daily to see if, or see our progress as we go through the current plans that are in our system. Mechanical, again, April 21st. And again, as I mentioned, you'll go through a review in person. If you get, if everything looks good, you don't have to address comments, then you can go all the way through for issuance same day. If you do have to address comments, if you're coming in today, you'll have to come back starting May 10th to address comments in person. And that would be a recheck. Next slide. Here we go. So plan rechecks. Rechecks are available 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. In-person rechecks for all departments begin May 10th. Drop-in for all departments except DBI building plan review. So if you're here, if you have a recheck, right? So if you have the plans with you that you picked up from the permit center the last couple of weeks and you want to bring it in, you can bring it in starting May 10th for all departments. With a note that if you need a recheck with DBI building, applicants should contact their assigned building plan reviewer to coordinate when that building plan reviewer is available at the permit center to do your recheck. So again, permit tracking system is a great tool. Put in your application number and look to see who your plan reviewer, original plan reviewer, or who was assigned to review your plans and who reviewed them. And then when you're done, with that, reach out to that plan reviewer so that you can find out when they will be available to do a recheck in person at the permit center Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. All other departments, again, are drop-in. You don't have to do that. It's just DBI building that you want to coordinate with the plan checker or plan reviewer. New applications with plans. These are brand new applications, new over-the-counter applications. That's happening 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Again, this is by appointment only, so you have to sign up to be allowed into the building to bring in a new over-the-counter application, which you will now no longer drop off paper, but now you will take upstairs for intake, for review, and issuance. But we'll talk a little bit more about the issuance part in a moment. First thing I want to address are the appointment windows. So currently, customers have booked appointments, a month in advance. The appointments are between 9:30 to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. What we are doing is to offer you the opportunity, and we are highly recommending that you come in as early. If your appointment is between 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., we recommend that you come into the Permit Center at 49 South NS between 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Customers that have afternoon appointments between 12 p.m. to 3:15 p.m., we are encouraging you to come in between 11:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Again, the reason is we want to give you as much time as possible to get your go through intake, to get your permit application number, to get your routing, and to start seeing plan reviewers that you're required based on your scope of work. So again, if your appointment window is from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., we recommend you come in from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. If your appointment window is 12 p.m. to 3:15 p.m., we recommend you come in as early as 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We also would really ask that you honor these times and not come in any earlier. Again, because of current, COVID health restrictions, we have a limit on the number of customers that we are allowed in the building on the first floor and on the second floor. And our number one priority is to keep you and staff in the Permit Center safe. And so we have capacity limits. So it's possible that if you show up early, you will not be allowed in the building until it's time for you to come in. As a reminder, also, your appointment is for one application per appointment for in-person intake and review. So that's now one application per appointment. Finally, once you go through your intake and your review, if you're ready for issuance and payment, you are going to have to leave your plans with the last reviewing station, and then that station will take the plans over to DBI for payment, for invoicing and payment, and that's going to work with. They're going to send you an email with an invoice, and that you'll pay online, and then the Permit Center will reach out for you to pick up at a later date. The reason for this is because we are prioritizing customers that are currently in midstream and currently, for recheck or for midstream review. We want to make sure that we respect the times that the time when we receive these projects, and so we're prioritizing stuff that's in midstream before we process new applications. The delay it's still very small, but if you have a new appointment, do not expect to leave with your job card same day. In-house review permits, so these are the larger Form 3 projects that are more complicated. That's by appointment only. What you want to do is go to this website that's listed, and you want to read the information on that page. And in essence, you're going to email DBI, there's emails listed there, and provide supporting documents or the required documents that are also listed on this page. So that is how you will submit in-house projects. Next slide. And then as a reminder, trade permits are online only. So electrical, plumbing, mechanical, and boiler, that's online only. they are not processed in the permit center. They're still not processed in the permit center in person. You have to get these online only. Re-roofing is also online. We moved it online. As a no plans, you potentially can get that in person, but we highly, again, because of COVID restrictions, we encourage you to go online if you're able to pull your re-roofing permit. The link that's on this page will provide additional information on online permits. And then coming soon, kitchen and bath remodels. The goal is to keep adding to the online permit portfolio so that you don't necessarily have to come to the permit center to issue your permit or to get your permit. I do also like to add that we are working really hard on creating a web page that will display current wait times for the queues in the permit center. That way you can make a decision before you leave your business or home whether you should come to the permit center for issuance. Again, it'll be a great tool for you to look and kind of manage your day by pulling up the queue, looking to see what the wait times are, and deciding if you want to come down and get your permit reviewed or issued if possible. And with that, it's it. So thank you very much, and we will open it up for questions.
Okay.
Can you take the first caller in the queue?
Yes, first caller in the queue is Kyle T, and I am unmuting you right now.
Hey, Gus, I have two quick questions. The first is, if you submitted plans prior, to April 23rd that were for rechecks, not initial review, are those going to be rechecked, or are we going to have to come and get them and do the process? And my second question is, to piggyback off that, is if there is a permit prior to April 23rd that went in, could you just state again what you're supposed to do in order, if it doesn't have a date, who you should contact to correct that? Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Yes, on the first question on the recheck. So yeah, this is going to be a two-stream process, right? We have the projects that were resubmitted for recheck going through review, and then we have the in-person activities. So we have the internal and we have the in-person. So the internal stuff, the rechecks that came back, that should still be moving. You should still see some progress on that in PTS, in the permit tracking system. And that will be forwarded to the next, routed to the next department, and that will continue all the way through. So it's balancing out both, but definitely for rechecks, you should see movement because internal review is still happening. For April 23rd, what I would recommend, Kyle, is looking to see, checking permit tracking system again to see where exactly it's at. If it's with building or mechanical, those are the dates that I can speak to right now. That if they are with building at April 23rd or earlier, it should be on the list for you to come in. If these are for initial review, like they haven't even been reviewed yet. And then for mechanical, it was April 21st. Any other department, I would recommend reaching out to that department directly or to that plan reviewer directly to see where they're at with that project. Thank you.
Okay, next caller is Henry. You are unmuted, Henry.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon. Thank you for putting this on today. It's going to be very, very helpful for everybody out there. Just wondering, on the Prop H, how does one do that? What sort of an application? Can that be done in one day? And what's the process for the Prop H applications?
Jimmy, do you want to take that?
Sure. Prop H, typically, you should reach out to the planning department. Let me get the person's number, contact. I wasn't, 1 second. In order to get the guarantee for 30 days, you have to do it as an EPR project. And if it's in paper, then they don't guarantee the 30-day turnaround, but they do try to meet that 30 days. I want to say, Henry, just contact me directly and I'll give you the name of the planner that's in charge of all the Prop H's.
No worries.
I don't have, I think it's Bridget Hicks.
I think you're right, but I'll get back to you on that, Jimmy. No worries. Thank you.
But for
Yeah,
everybody else, it's, go
add
ahead.
to that there's a lot of information online about Prop H projects. So just go to the website and there's information about Prop H and how you submit for that using electronic plan review.
Okay, next caller is Brian. Brian, you are unmuted.
Yeah, hi everyone, thank you. First of all, I'll say that I'll echo what the other caller said. It's been a trying year, but communication goes a long way. So I greatly appreciate the efforts you guys have been putting in to put out emails and to have this webinar. So thank you very much for that. Now, on my specific project, I'll be quick. I'm not sure, maybe I just wasn't following along and you answered the question already, but I'll share the details. I submitted OTC application with plans on April 7. It's a fairly simple project. It's just converting an office to a second bathroom and a closet, no envelope changes. I see my application in the permit tracking system. I further see that on April 30th, building signed off and routed it to mechanical. I'm not on the invite schedule, and I just checked for revisions. And I'm unfortunately, I'm still a little unclear on what I should do. Should I sit tight and wait or take action?
Great, thank you. Yes, mechanical is on April 21st right now. So if they received it on April 30th, we're working towards getting an invite out to you. But right now we're reviewing and inviting customers that have plans that arrived on mechanical on April 21st. But that's the exact activity, is pulling up the permit tracking system and looking when it moved from one department to the other. And if it was, when mechanical on or before April 21st, then you should see your name on the list. If it was on or before April 23rd for building, you should see your name on the list. Anything after that, expect an invitation shortly as we get through them. Thank you.
Okay, next caller is Meg. Meg, you are unmuted.
Hi there. Great, thank you. I have a question about the building OTC rechecks. You mentioned that we have to reach out to the plan checker assigned to see when they're going to be on desk. Is that like an actual appointment, or will I just be arriving during their window and waiting in line and hoping to meet them?
Yeah, yes, thank you. I can add, but I can start, but maybe Jimmy, you'd like to add a little more. Yeah, it's really coordinating the time with the plan checker, the time that they are going to be available. We're also going to begin to test publishing the counter schedule on the website. So we'll provide that shortly. So you can look for that, and that may help. But I would like to caution that, availability definitely is limited. And so I would, there are revisions that are made to the schedule based on attendance. So I would recommend you still reach out to the plan checker to coordinate, and they would have better idea of what's coming in or what they have on their load for that day, and can maybe schedule some time for you. But in essence, what you would do is you would come into the permit center the day they're on the counter, the day they've told you to come in, and you would be entered into the recheck queue for that plan checker. You potentially would have to wait until that plan checker is available to see you for that recheck. And Jimmy, if you want to add anything else to that.
No, Gus, I think you said everything I was going to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, caller, apologies. Stephen, you are unmuted. Stephen Tong. Going once. Okay, we'll try and circle back to Stephen. Caller Z Mead, you are unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hi, I'll echo everyone else's comments. Thanks so much for putting this together. Much appreciated. If we have an existing OTC appointment, for example, in 3 weeks, as I do, previously we were allowed to submit 2 projects to that appointment. Am I understanding correctly now that that appointment will now be in person? However, we will only be able to submit one project?
Yes, thank you. That is correct. As of yesterday, you are only able to bring in you are now only able to bring in one project, and that will be for an in-person review. I mean, we definitely recognize this inconvenience and the impact that this change causes you and your businesses. But really, the processing two projects in person, it really is decreasing our availability for the plan reviewers to focus on stuff that's already here in midstream, which is then putting an impact on those projects. So we are, focusing, putting all our efforts in clearing out that midstream queue of projects, so that we can which achieve our goal, which is to transition to same day drop-in service as quickly as possible. We are great. We have some really good results right now with what we've been doing for the last week and a half with the invites to the midstream. So we feel confident that we'll be reaching out to customers that have appointments and in the future, and bringing them closer to an earlier date. But yes, as of yesterday, it's one project per appointment. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to try Stephen Tong one more time. Mr. Tong, you are unmuted. You're going to be having some technical difficulties there. So we will go with Elmer Lynn.
Yes, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Let me forgot what my question was. I think it was if the projects require resubmittal to planning, is that all outside of this OTC process? That means we have to make arrangements with planning to get their comments, make the revisions, and resubmit them for them to sign off before it goes into OTC process.
Well, let me think how to answer that question. Currently, if you have a revision that you need to resubmit, you can come in starting May 10th to drop off those plan sets with someone at planning. So planning is available if you're going through paper to drop off those revisions starting May 10th without an appointment. You would just come in, get as early as 8 a.m. and go into the planning queue. And then when you meet the plan reviewer at the counter, you would just hand those revisions over to them. These are really for like the larger in-house projects. For OTC, anything that's currently on their desk, they're pushing to the permit center, or they're working towards pushing them to the permit center, so we can get those back to you so that you can go through in-person review. Thank you.
Okay, next caller is Rex McLean.
Okay. Oh, hi. So I was just looking at the website for the over-the-counter with plans, and somebody brought this up earlier. I already have an appointment set up for June, and I need to submit 2 different projects. So what you're saying is now I can only do one, and I'd have to set up a follow-up appointment to do the other permit. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. What I recommend, if you have a second project, is to book a second appointment. Thank you. Or book a new appointment for that project. Thank you.
Okay, next caller is Shotki. You are unmuted.
Oh, hi. Thank you for doing this. My question is, we may be getting what's happening now is when we get projects, we don't know exactly when the permit date. We have to schedule appointments ahead of time, just taking into account, we're guessing at when the projects will be done, and then we get an appointment date. So I think that's the difficult part, because sometimes a project will go sooner than the other. it's still a, I feel like there's like a, we have to just guess when the project is going to be submitted, make an appointment. And right now, your appointment dates, I think, are out till August. So even if I make an appointment now, it's going to be still out. If there's no way to get that sooner still, it's still appointments only. And there's no way to just, come in at this point. It's still, we have to just wait it out and then just do one at a time and just book in advance. And what if one project, and you can bring one project in, like say it's not the project that you're scheduled for, but you can bring that one in instead, right? It's not the, even if we put in like a 17th floor project, we could bring an 18th if 17th is not ready, correct?
Yes, that is correct. For right now, what I recommend is go ahead and book an appointment. If you have a project, for projects that you actually have that you have to submit. The other thing is, we're trying our best to accommodate everyone. We are seeing though that, there are customers that are booking multiple appointments, even though they do not have projects. So that kind of creates an additional challenge. But I would recommend that if you do have a project, go ahead and book an appointment. And then once again, our focus right now is to clear what we've taken in and what's in midstream. Once we've cleared those projects, then we can focus, or at least gotten under control for those projects for all of the departments here in the Permit Center, because all departments have a bit of a queue. Then we can focus our energies toward new appointments. And first, bringing those appointments that have, bringing in those projects or applicants that have appointments in July and August earlier, right? Loading up the new so that we're taking in more and more new and offering earlier appointments. And then looking on how we can offer like a same day queue where we can allow a certain number of customers to sign up. And it'd be great if you can do it remotely so you don't have to be here to sign up, so that you can submit a project same day. But it's in phases. There's a lot of constraints that we're dealing with, and we're trying our best, and we feel that it's the best thing to do is to focus on stuff that's already here, to get those out. Then we can focus on the future and getting those in sooner. Thank you.
Next caller is Ken. Ken, you are unmuted.
Oh, hi. Thanks. I think I understand the emails that I'm getting. So some of them, if we don't have a specific plan checker that we need to meet with, that's when the morning registration time window, we're supposed to attend that time window to register for something else that's going to happen later that afternoon for intake or whatever. I think that's right. And then I get other ones that say just come between 1:30 and 3:30, which I have to do today. I assume that's because there's already a plan checker that has been assigned and they want to see us in person at that time. And we don't actually go in the morning to do any kind of pre-registration. Is that correct?
Yeah, it definitely sounds like you have a few irons in the fire right now. So you have different stuff happening, right? So I would read your email carefully and just follow the instructions that are on the email. But you're right. If you have a window, because you have a midstream project, you just come in during that window, and that means your project has not been reviewed by building yet, and you're going to be you'll pick it up and you'll be assigned the first available plan checker for building or mechanical to do that initial review. And then after that, if they approve and you have another department you have to see before issuance, you'll be allowed to be queued into that department to complete the review with that department. And you could potentially go all the way to issuance that day. Thank you.
Call in user phone number 415244. You are unmuted.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yes.
This is Kieran Bowen.
Sir, can you mute your whatever you're watching this on? There's a bit of feedback. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next caller, but please just I'll get to you next, but please mute whatever you're watching this on so that we don't get the feedback loop. So next caller is going to be Alex Morin.
Hi, I'd like to know whether or not we would have access to the inspectors while the building is, reopening. We have some job cards that have expired and we need to renew them. And in the past, we were able to just go down and meet with the inspectors and get that all cleared out. Is that something that is available or will be available starting next week, or is that will that be in the future?
Joe, you want to take this?
Yes, I can take that. Thank you for your question. This is Joe Duffy, Acting Deputy Director of Inspection Services. Unfortunately, we're still not going to be able to provide in-person renewal of building permits or extensions of building permits. We have been doing them since around June of last year online with the with our inspection services. So if you could you can email me actually joseph.duffy@sfgov.org, and I can give you some directions on renewing or extending the building permit. The building inspectors are all available by their email, and their actual desk number on the website will make their DBI cell phone will ring as well, and they'll be able to, if you're having trouble getting a hold of an inspector for a signature, whatever, what we've been doing for the past year or so is that the inspectors have been going and meeting the contractors and taking care of that, a lot of that on site. But we are hoping in the next few weeks, or as things progress, that our counter will open fully. The inspection counter will only be open for OCATA process on building permit applications that have a complaint attached to them. So again, if you're having any trouble, if someone's not getting back to you on the inspection end, by all means email me, joseph.duffy@sfgov.org. And then we also have our DBI inspection services at sfgov.org. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna try the call-in user 415-244 one more time, but please just turn the volume off your computer if you're watching it so we don't get feedback. I am unmuting you right now.
Hi, I apologize to the attendees about the feedback there. I've turned off my computer and I'm on my phone. My question was, I have a bathroom remodel as a result of a plumbing leak, and I made an appointment which is for the earliest I could get was the 29th of July, and I saw in the early part of the presentation that soon coming is a separate category for kitchen and bathroom remodel. And do we have any idea when that will come into play? And I presume that if there's an expedited way of dealing with bathroom and kitchen, then I might be able to get an earlier appointment. Is that reasonable?
Hi, caller. This is Christine. We are expecting that the online kitchen and bath remodel will be launching soon in the next couple of weeks. And that's going to be for a simple kitchen or bath remodel. So any structural work would still require you to go through and get an over-the-counter with plans permit. But if it's a replacement in kind, you'll be able to get that online. You'll sign up for an online account and you'll be able to get that online. Probably in the next, it looks like it's just about ready to launch, probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
Christine, sorry for joining in. Would that not also be a permit application that the gentleman could actually come down to DBI between 7:30 and 9:30 any day? If it's just a bathroom remodel repair that's non-structural, you can always come down to DBI and we can issue that permit the same day if you need it sooner. You don't really need an appointment at the end of July for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a no plans type scope, and maybe Jimmy, if you can say if it is or not, or you may need more information. But if it's a no plans type job, then you would just come in 7:30 to 9:30 Monday through Friday to get a no plans permit. I'd also like to add that if there is an emergency and you need, for example, work on to address a fire or flood damage or any type of serious issue affecting affecting the building, go ahead and please contact dbi.emergencyresponse@sfgov.org. That's dbi.emergencyresponse@sfgov.org. Detail the issue, and DBI will reach out to you to discuss further on how to get that permit issued for an emergency. Thank you.
Okay, next caller is Ron DiMartini. You are unmuted.
Just have a question for the fire department. Do they have an anticipated date for when we're going to resume over-the-counter reviews?
Hi, just to be clear, so the fire department is part of the permit center over-the-counter review. They will have a station open at the permit center, but they're also doing, in addition to that, this drop-off service for fire-only permits, just to supplement what they're doing at the counter to make sure we can serve more customers.
Okay, next caller is Christina. You're unmuted. Christina appears to be away. Next caller, Eric.
Hi there. Thanks, John. I do wireless permits. Any given year, I do between 50 to 100. I've done over 100 wireless permits in a year, and those are typical OTC with plans. When I look at the schedule, the calendar, these dates are out in August, and as you know, wireless permits come with certain FCC review timeframes that jurisdictions are supposed to meet. So I mean, I could go in here and almost take probably every appointment in August. My question is, if and since we typically have done these OTC in the past, if these were to be done as, say, a Form 3, do you need an appointment to submit a Form 3 application, and how long would that review time be for a Form 3?
Gary, can you take this? Gary Ho?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Now, for the Form 3 permit now, that you could submit that by the so-called priority pen check, so that we could get to that quicker than the other permit. So after you fill out those form for that priority permit, you could make contact to the so-called in-house review permit. Just we just make that presentation earlier, and so typically maybe we could, since it's a priority, we may get it quicker, maybe in a few weeks or so. Does that answer your question, Eric?
Yeah, that answers my question. I just want to make sure. Would there be an appointment to be able to submit a Form 3, or is that just a walk-in?
You need to submit that to the in-house review, and then we could set up an appointment review, and the appointment usually take maybe a couple of days or so.
Okay, next caller is Jim Treeman. Mr.
Yes.
Treeman.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. So I had an appointment to submit 2 projects on June 1st. And now my understanding is that I can only bring in 1 on that day. The other one, if I'm understanding correctly, I need to make another appointment, which I just did, but it's not until August 11th. So is that the process? So I have to tell one of my clients that, oh, I'm sorry, the June 1st is now changed to August 11th? Or am I missing something?
Yes. So, as Gus explained earlier, we are, in order to get more people through here and provide more fairness, we are limiting the appointments to one project per person as we work through the projects that have already been dropped off. What we anticipate is that, even if it looks like you have an appointment that's a couple months off, that we're going to be able to move people in quicker because the idea is to restore the same day drop-in service and to get people in sooner. But we just need to get you on the books so that we can work through what we already have and the existing appointments, and then start bringing in people sooner. So I anticipate you'll be able to get in a lot sooner than that.
Yeah, and I'd also like to add, if those of you on our call have appointments, look through your emails because we are noticing customers are forgetting they have appointments or are not showing up for their appointments, which also throws another wrench. So if you have an appointment, you do not need it, we ask that you cancel it or review the emails from the Permit Center or from Flex Appointments, confirming future appointments and to cancel. Once they're canceled, they're made immediately available for another person to book. Thank you.
Okay, next caller is Naomi.
Hi, thank you. I have an appointment for a new over-the-counter permit with plans on Monday in the afternoon at 2:15. And I hear that you're recommending we arrive at 11:30. I'm just trying to understand what's going to happen between 11:30 and 2:15, just to coordinate who is bringing what to the appointment. Like, will the review be starting before our appointment time, or will it just be a matter of getting in line and just being there ahead? I'm not sure what to expect.
Sure, thank you. Thank you. So yes, we recommend if you have an appointment time at 2 to come in at 11:30. And really it's to give you time for the process, which means you'll go downstairs, you'll be downstairs at the info counter. They'll check for address validation, any notice of violations, and then they will queue you to intake, DBI. And this is where they look over your scope, your application, your plans, create an application number, and then routing, determine the routing that your project will take with reviews with the departments. So after they're done with that intake activity, then you'll be routed to your first station. Could be planning, could be building for review. So, we're offering you an early opportunity to come in earlier because it's going to take time for you to get through the different departments for review and potentially to drop off for an issuance if it gets all the way to issuance for new appointments. So you're going through the process. If we had you come in at 2, then in essence, you wouldn't have that much of an opportunity to get through the review process. So we're trying to get you in so you can have more time for review with the different departments.
Okay, caller Christina. I'm gonna try you one more time. Christina, you're unmuted. We cannot hear you, Christina. If you might be muted on your phone. Nope. Hello? Okay. Unfortunately, we cannot hear you, Christina. So we're going to go to the next caller, Meg. Meg, you are unmuted.
Hi, thank you. I have a couple of questions. So between now and when OTC starts, is the CPC revision box gone? I have another question. I've heard that there's not going to be any more planning information counter when OTC starts. And my last question is there going to be a technical question station once the over-the-counter starts?
Thank you. So I'm sorry, do we have someone from planning on?
I don't think we do.
Okay. So yeah, the CPC, so SF Planning's revision box is gone. Yes, we're trying to stop the paper. So what you would do if you have a revision to bring in is come to 49 South NS to the Permit Center, definitely starting on Monday. We will put you in the queue to see planning, and then you'll hand off your revision, your paper revision to planning so that they can coordinate putting that together with the originals and to review that. And those are really going to be for the larger in-house projects. But yes, the revision box is gone. The planning information counter right now is online only, so through email. So you'll definitely want to contact, I think it's pick@sfgov.org. But you'll definitely want to go on the SF Planning website to verify. And for right now, there's not a planning information counter. Future, possibly. And then for technical services division, for right now, that's through email. But if someone at DBI can elaborate for TSD.
Gary Ho, can you take this?
Yes, sure, I could. Now we are working with TSD. I think we still have that information counter. I think we are thinking about that. We need to be able to answer questions to the public. We will be scheduling someone there to answer a question, or if we already have someone there in the information desk. If this need to have an engineer or inspector there, we will inform pen checker or pen viewer to that to answer question.
Okay, and we have one last caller, Lars M.
Hi, thank you. I had a question about the trade permits, the online only trade permits for something like a small like-for-like package unit replacement project, or a water source heat pump that may have failed and we're replacing it with kind of the same model. Is that something that we can do via the trade permits online, or is that still something we have to do like over the counter style?
Joe Duffy, can you take that?
So from the sound of your question, it sounds like you can get an online plumbing permit for that work. However, if that's not possible, then you really should contact our, because you may need fire department review depending on the size. I'm just thinking, but if you're, you could always, you could email us at dbi.inspectionservices@sfgov.org and we can figure that one out for you. But I do believe you can do that on a trade permit for a plumbing permit on the online system. And again, our website has a lot of information on it there about the trade permits and stuff and all types of building permits. And it has the information for contacting inspection services. And we can definitely get you a response pretty quickly on that. If the system's not allowing you to pull an online permit for some reason, definitely go into the website, go to inspection services, and someone will respond to you on the same day. Thank you.
Christina, James here. I'd like to chime in on that. Can everybody hear me?
Yes. Thank you, James.
Yeah. If you are, you may not be able to do a trade permit if you are installing a brand new heat pump to replace an existing heating device. Reason being, the mechanical and energy team may need to look at that piece of equipment in making sure that it complies with the energy code. So it's likely that such a permit does require the mechanical and energy team to plan review it. If you need more detail, you're welcome to contact myself or motion sake for that kind of
And he was Jameson, james.zhan@sfgov.org. So that's the last of our callers. And so thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate your patience and thank you for your partnership as we move through this transition. If you have additional questions or questions about specific projects, please email us at dbicustomerservice@sfgov.org. Thank you and goodbye.